Welcome to Triumph and Disaster, a show dedicated to manly creativity and culture. Brought to you by your host, Cameron McHarg.
Guys, we're back for another episode of Triumph and Disaster, and this week we have Miller Duvall, who is one of the founders of the Spirit Guild in Los Angeles, which is one of the only distilleries in the Los Angeles area. He makes vodka and gin, and he's going to be doing more soon. Not only that, he is also a screenwriter and a musician. He's a guitarist and the frontman of a band called the Brunch Crowd. And I'll make sure to put everything up on the blog, of the Triumph and Disaster blog at the end, so you can check that out at the end. But super cool guy, and I've always been really interested in all things alcohol. I've made my own beer before, and I'm interested in how to brew and how to make whiskey, how to make wine, all this sort of thing. So we talk quite a bit about that. Super cool guy, super cool art form. Hope you guys enjoy. This is Miller Duvall. We're on right now. I'm talking to you right now. Yeah, this is the way it is. So, Miller, we've known each other for about 5 minutes. That's it so far, which I kind of like to keep it that way because I want you to be able to sort of introduce yourself to everybody. But so you are, among other things, a distiller of booze.
We're a distillery right here in Los Angeles, and we make booze out of local parties. So that's what we do.
Oh, it's local. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's kind of what sets us apart from a lot of other places. We actually start with food and fruit juice, raw and all the locals that we have these grains that we
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it gin that you guys make? What do you guys tell? What kind of spirits then? Is it?
So the products we're working with are gin and vodka.
Okay.
And down the road we'll be making all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you will?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have this beautiful, 250-gallon German still. Like, we're going to be playing with that thing and making all kinds of cool liqueurs and amari and brandies and that.
Oh, wow.
But we just had to choose two basic products to start with. I mean, we're very, very proud of our gin and vodka,
Yeah.
of course. And yeah, again, like our philosophy is to use stuff that's grown right here in California. So California doesn't grow a lot of grains.
Right.
We're not the breadbasket of America. We're like the salad of America.
Right.
So, and not to mention my family has been farming in California for 6 generations.
Oh, really? You're hardcore native here then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we have this farm to big field where we grow a lot of things.
I always thought that that vodka was usually made out of like potatoes or grain or corn or something like that. I'm probably showing how clueless I am about this, but that's what I.
It is made of that stuff because it's cheaper to make it that way.
But not necessary.
The good and corn potatoes not so much. But vodka can be made of anything. What makes vodka, at least according to the federal government, is leaving us still at 95% alcohol by volume. So you can take any fermentable sugar.
Okay.
And then you distill that stuff up to a certain level of purity, and then it is just automatically vodka.
It's vodka. It's alcohol.
Yeah, there's a vodka made of milk, there's a vodka made of maple syrup. It's all vodka. The thing is, most vodkas out there in the market, they distill it way beyond 95%. Because, if you're making your vodka out of corn or grain, maybe you're not so keen on having people taste the precursor ingredients to that.
Right.
So
Oh, okay. So they're basically killing it. Basically, they're going over.
they're washing all the
Yeah.
sugar out and they're creating something that's like ethanol in water. And and then the pitch is that is better. That's the best vodka, it's super neutral. But and that pitch works to their advantage. But we're using oranges, and so we're taking it up to 95%, which is the minimum that it can be vodka. And the extra 5% is all stuff in the oranges, and it's the vodka that has a lot of character to it.
So you have some hints. Yeah, it's actual hints of something.
Oh yeah, and it's also, it shows up in the flavor and the texture. And the truth is, we were not going to make a vodka originally. We were on the way to making a gin. And we were kind of like, vodka, whatever, it's kind of boring.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna. That's juniper root or something, right? Is that berries? Okay, berries for gin. I'll say. Go ahead. Okay.
Traditional stuff. It's coriander, cassia, which is another name in a way for cinnamon.
Okay.
Angelica oil. These are all just
It's a little more complicated.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So in the process of discovering our gin, we discovered a vodka as well, and we decided to release it, and we've just been, overwhelmed by the support we've gotten for it. I mean, we love it. It's a really
Well, I can't wait to try it. No, it's not the time probably right now, but I usually subscribe to that too. But so I mean, you hear a lot about like how there's a lot of and this is usually from people who really don't know, like myself. But you hear a lot of back and forth about vodka, like whatever you get in the well, it really doesn't matter. It's the same thing as what you'd pay like for whatever's behind the good stuff behind the bar, or like they're all triple filtered, makes it all the same thing or something like that. So this is coming from like someone like myself who has no clue. And there's no truth to that really. Actually sip it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if you're a vodka drinker, you would do yourself well to maybe explore some of the other vodka options.
Yeah. Does the filtering have something to do with that too, or is it actually the ingredients is what matters the most? What you start with, and how much you distill it to how far you take it. That's what it is.
Part of it, yeah. The filtration thing, we don't filter the vodka.
Yeah.
So I think that's just another way for people to clean up base drinks,
That started with something not so great.
Yeah.
Right.
So most people who make vodka, they don't even do all the distillation themselves. They purchase grade ethanol from like Argentina or Cargill.
Uh-huh.
Believe me, we get these like catalogs from these guys. It's cheap. It's like they make this stuff in the Midwest in these giant refineries, and you can buy it in totes, and then you take it to your little craft distillery.
Uh-huh.
If you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
You distill it, and then all of a sudden it becomes your vodka. Or in some cases, you don't even redistill it, you just filter it.
Wow.
Yeah, you can kind of put your imprint on it that way. I mean, hey, if that's what you want to make, that's great. More power to you. And then you can release it that way.
But that's the truth of how a lot of this sausage is made then,
Yeah, exactly.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, then you think that a lot of vodka and gin out there made by smaller people, sometimes they're, like a whiskey distillery will launch with a vodka and gin. But these guys don't really care about vodka and gin that much. They're just doing it.
Something on the side. Right.
They're really to other stuff. So, you gotta be careful. I mean, some vodkas, I think mostly European vodkas, I don't think you can do here in the States, put additives in like glycerin or saccharin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so there's they don't get into the dirty details, but there are some main brands out there that have reputation for having adulterants in there, and it gives it like more of an mouthfeel and more
Interesting.
more character.
Are do these, without naming any brands or names, are these sort of kind of newer, sort of trendier ones, or are these like older established ones, like old Russian ones, or? Okay.
And again, like I haven't done all the homework to confirm these allegations, but
Yeah.
take me and experiment with them.
Huh.
But if you think about it, like you think about cognac, right?
Uh-huh.
In cognac, they put caramel coloring.
Right.
And other sort of things that we Americans, with our kind of puritanical backgrounds, might consider adulterants, right? But in France, their whole attitude is like, hey, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for this different craft.
Okay.
So if it's like, if the distiller thinks that the cognac he's releasing doesn't have enough barrel flavor, he'll make a little kind of barrel tincture and kind of like add that into the
Okay.
to achieve the perfect balance he's looking for.
And here it might be considered like, like cheating. Exactly. Like that's just part of the craft. It's part of the alchemical formula. Like I had a buddy who, I'm obviously not going to say his name, but he has a still in his garage, and he makes whiskey. And I tried some of it, and it was clear. I was like, "What the?" I thought whiskey was it's brown, and that's what he said. He said, "Well, that actually comes later." Same.
Yeah, like, our initial branding experiment. Yeah, it's clear.
It's clear. Huh. But does the barrel aging give any flavor, or does the brown give flavor, or is it just aesthetic, like visually aesthetic, or it's both? Yeah. Yeah.
That is, I wouldn't be surprised if Jameson actually kind of somehow dropped it up there with Amy as a huge brand.
Yeah.
But, Jameson is kind of like a cartoonish version of what a barrel would do to whiskey. It's very vanilla.
Right. Butterscotchy almost, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's, like a Chardonnay wine, right? It's like an oak of a hat.
Right. Comes from the oak.
Yeah, and then, barrels are hard, too. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
so when people were making barrels back in the day, still, you have to kind of burn the stage on the inside to get them to kind of make that nice arc, right?
But see, this is the stuff that I love. This is the stuff that I really love. Like, I made beer once, and I loved it. I loved learning about all these. It's because it's an art. It really is an art. And like, for example, going to, like, you go to wine country, or you go to some winery, and you walk in, and it's all the barrels and the smell. And I don't know much about wine. I don't even pretend to know much about wine. I like something or I don't, but I don't. But there's something about being in that makes you feel like it's such an art form, and there's so much to it that I want to know more about this whole process. This little touch of this little touch of that. It's like it's a mad scientist coming up with this thing.
I mean, that makes perfect sense. If you're learning about the process from that angle, it kind of removes some of the confusion I think that people have when people are trying to look at wine from just a purely consumer's point of view. Where it's just a bunch of labels.
Right.
And a bunch of, like, goofy descriptors and adjectives.
Right, exactly.
But if you actually kind of get back to the process and learn a little bit about the, terroir and the personalities behind it.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much to it. It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
From the ingredients on. And
it is relevant, and at the very least, it kind of acts like sort of a mnemonic device to kind of, like, you can kind of hang your knowledge, somewhere.
Yeah.
Organize all that knowledge about, how it tastes.
I mean, I'm not, like, I've talked to a guy who was like a real, whatever you want to call it, a connoisseur, an expert, I guess you would call it. And he was like, you don't have to worry about all these words that we're talking about, notes of black cherry or whatever. I mean, or it rests in your mouth, whatever. You like it or you don't. And then you can describe it any way that you want. It's not like you have to, you're going to be an idiot if you don't, like, have this certain vocabulary for it. But I think it applies to everything, though, too. It's not just wine, obviously. It applies to beer. It applies to what you're doing. And I'm kind of curious how did you start off, like, making beer or anything like that, or wine? Or how did you get into doing this in the first place?
Well, let's see.
Or did you jump straight into making gin? Okay.
So I was there for the kind of, I don't know if it was the first wave, but it was a wave of cocktail appreciation. I was like, the British swingers just come out.
Right. Oh, the whole martini thing, and yeah.
So I worked in this place that was all about, like, big bands and, like,
Right.
kitschy, old-timey.
I remember apple martinis were big in the 90s for a little while there.
Yeah. This place was a little more a cut above than that.
Old school.
Yeah, so I was in San Francisco, so I was working at the Bristol Brunos.
Mm-hmm.
That was totally buying into that whole, swingers thing.
Yeah.
And then I was also working in a microbrewery called the 20 Tank Brewery, which is
Cool.
over there.
I love it. Anyway, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, so, in the 90s, I kind of caught that excitement. And also, living in San Francisco in the 90s, too, like, I kind of saw the impact that local cuisine was having, not only there, but in the world. So Alice Waters, her shake cookies, was this inspiration to me. I've never actually been there before, but I've
What are these places? What is this? I'll throw this up on the blog. This is a couple things I don't even know about, and maybe other people don't either.
So like back in the 70s, like think about how people ate, like people like French cuisine.
Okay.
Ruled the roost. Like you want to go out and have a good dinner, and it's going to be all about like the mother sauces and all that
Right.
cooking technique.
Right.
And then at some point in the 70s, in Berkeley, this woman and her friends opened this restaurant called Technique.
Okay.
She pioneered this idea of using stuff in local farms.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds so simple, but it was kind of like a bomb went off.
Right.
And so, some people say that maybe Alice Waters gets too much credit for this, but she was a major part of this movement that is pretty much informing how we eat today. And it wasn't just the fact that he pioneered that style of cuisine. He also was very generous with the people who worked for her, and allowed them a lot of freedom. And then when people wanted to leave, they would start their own restaurants, and it become these kind of like satellite places.
And she'd sort of encourage that. Yeah.
I don't mean to like make this too much of a biography.
It doesn't matter.
But that's kind of the story I heard, and I always found that very inspiring. So that's kind of my background in the 90s. I kicked off for a while. I did film stuff for a while.
I didn't know that. I know you're a musician, by the way, which we want to touch on. But tell me about. So what's the deal with the film stuff?
I had this screenplay that I wrote when I was 27 that got a lot of attention, and interestingly enough, it got a lot of attention in France of all places. So I was living in New York and flying back and forth to Paris for a time, do rewrites and do meetings and stuff.
So it was French money. They were interested in making this thing. Okay.
That was a pretty exciting time in my life for sure. I mean, the French screenwriters, in a way, that's very different.
And directors. Yeah.
And I was a celebrity out there. Like I was getting autographs and stuff.
What the hell?
Screenwriter.
Yeah.
And they're flying me into little beach towns and
What the? Tell me more about this. This is nuts. Uh-huh.
And so I got to go to a lot of like fancy clubs and cool vacation homes, and it was a really awesome time.
And was it produced?
It got so close to being produced. In fact, it was even like announced in sort of the People magazine of France.
Yeah.
And Jean Dujardin, who ended up winning an Oscar here, was slated to play the lead role. It fell through the last minute. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I understand that. I've had a similar experience where something fell through similar, and it happens all the time, but that doesn't help me. I was wrecked for months.
It all fell victim to this kind of like bullshit medical drama between like my producer and his boss.
Oh no, that's why? It was that kind of a reason?
Yeah, it was really stupid. But the good news is that screenplay is once again in development in France from a different
Now.
Phoenix Light has risen from the ashes, and it's slated to be going before the camera in like less than a year.
Oh shit, it's that far along.
Yeah.
Holy shit, congratulations. What? So
Obviously excited.
sure. And you can't say who is circling it or anything at this point, or
I mean, yeah, they have a director attached. It wouldn't mean anything to
and it would be
me. It's just like a guy that he's a French guy.
and it's going to be in French language. Okay.
I mean, I wrote this thing like over 20 years ago. It's a movie about the future, so it's a science fiction sex comedy,
Okay.
which might explain a little bit.
They're hoping for an aging Jerry Lewis to to start.
Yeah, the humor is it's
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm sure it's been rewritten extensively. I have no idea if I'll even recognize what's up in the screen.
That's super exciting, though. What would be the English translation of the title again? Robot the.
Yeah, roboticide.
Okay. Oh, okay. Robot the seed. Okay, like homicide for robots. Robot the seed.
So
We got to look out for that. That's super cool.
yeah, so I was in New York, and then that happened, and then it didn't happen, and then I moved back to California, and all of a sudden I found myself hanging around the farm again, and doing a little kind of consultation work up there, working with my cousin a little bit, and I did some olive trees. We're always looking for ways to make more money from the farm and the kind of hard knock world of commodity agriculture. Looking at kind of vertical integration and that kind of thing.
That must have been kind of nice to get your feet back on the ground, though, a little bit. To go back, literally back to a farm from that whole crazy back and forth, having the rug pulled out from under you, experience with the script and all that.
Yeah.
From that world. As exciting as it is, it's kind of nice to be able to, I mean, literally a farm. You can't get much more grounded than that.
I love the farm. It is true. Yeah.
That's cool. But anyway.
Yeah, even to this day, it's a place I love to go.
Yeah.
It is, but yeah, it's got to work, too. I mean, there's economics behind it. I mean,
Sure.
yeah, and
But
there's real estate development going all around it in Bakersfield, too. And it's like, sometimes it just feels like it's under threat.
uh-huh.
I mean, so, no one's going to force us to sell out, but
It's just like all the old movies. The bankers are going to force in and close down the farm. But it really happens.
yeah, there's these horrible mansions surrounding the farm now.
Really?
The view of the stars, and also Caltrans is widening this little 2-lane road that goes from Bakersfield into the Tehachapi Mountains. There's no reason whatsoever.
Aw, dude, that's sad.
Public money is being used to fuel the most craven and ridiculous and unsustainable form of real estate development. It really is a giveaway to these developers. It's just they're just bulldozing and bulldozing and bulldozing, putting up these overpasses.
Oh, fuck.
Also, these guys can build these gated communities.
Yeah.
They certainly Bakersfield was one of the fastest growing cities. Pre-recession, pre-crash.
Uh-huh.
And now it seems once again, real estate's kind of leading the way.
So you're being surrounded by this stuff and killing the whole soul of the... But anyway.
But we're still doing what we're doing.
Yeah. So you went there and you were trying to figure things out after the script debacle.
Yeah. I think that's accurate. And so one day I was up there, I came back to LA and I was at the bar with my wife and we were looking behind the bar. What are we going to have?
Mm-hmm.
And it occurred to me that everything behind the bar was basically made somewhere else,
Yeah.
Here we are in California. It's the most diverse agricultural place in the world, and it's also holds this kind of reputation for being this special magical land of its own.
Right.
Innovative spirit.
Right.
And considering that, it's just weird that there wasn't really anything behind the bar that really reflected that.
Right. Right.
Even some of the fine distilleries that we do have in California, they make their stuff out of grain.
Okay.
So they're importing it from the Midwest most likely.
Right.
I started thinking what would a California endemic California experience
Right.
and then so doing a little research back in the 49, the 49er era,
Uh-huh.
around the time that my great-great-great-grandfather came to California, people were really into brandy and pisco.
Brandy and what?
Pisco.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, pisco.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Pisco is an unaged grape brandy made in Peru.
Okay.
Or Chile.
Okay.
Of course, there's some pretty intense rivalry between those guys. They both have their different ways of making it.
All right.
But at its like most, I won't say authentic, but at its most kind of stripped down, Pisco is made of like 3 different kinds of grapes, 3 different kinds of grapes, and they distill it once through, I think maybe just a pot still, which if you're making like a brandy, that is like wine without a net. That's like very rock and roll.
You can probably set it on fire.
Well, it's just to say that there's no margin for error.
Oh, I see.
Flavor-wise.
Right.
In fact, since you're using kind of an old-timey inefficient still, it's probably less flammable than something else.
Okay.
Because it is something efficient. But most like brandies in the European tradition are double distilled. So you have one pass to kind of like create like a pretty good foundation for what you're going to do.
And then like a refining one.
You really get exactly what you want.
Right.
Pisco, you just do. I mean, again, in some versions, you just do it once, and you got to do it all right the first time.
Right.
And then you don't even have the aging process, which is another way of mellowing something.
So you really gotta know what you're doing when you pull the trigger there.
Yeah.
I want to try that. That sounds pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Pisco sour. So
Pisco. I don't know how I didn't know that.
they have a little funk to them.
Yeah.
A little like kind of like maybe a grape-y kind of like funkiness, or a little maybe a little hotness to them.
Huh.
And they offer a great pushback for bartenders. I mean, it's like if you're working. I mean, that's the whole thing about cocktail culture. It's like you kind of want to have something that's going to have a little personality, so you kind of balance it out with other flavors.
Right. Right.
And Pisco is perfect for that.
Interesting. I gotta look that up. Well, I'll put that up too. Whatever. I'll put something about Pisco up on the blog. So yeah, you were talking about brandy and Pisco. Oh, and the 49er guys and all, and that's what they were drinking. So they weren't drinking whiskey and beer; they were drinking Pisco and brandy.
That's right. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Who would have known?
Old cocktails of the day, brandy was pretty heavily represented.
Huh? I would have never guessed that.
The other day I was super sick and I was watching Mad Men, and they ordered a Stinger, and I was like, wow, a Stinger, like that's a classic cocktail.
Old school.
Yeah, you see it, well, it's reference. What is it? It's a made of cognac, I think Sazerac was originally made of brandy or cognac or something. So, anyway, so California was very much out of that tradition.
Huh?
In the day. And that just makes sense. It's like, what do you make your booze out of? You make it out of the stuff that's
What's here? Yeah.
But at a certain point in time, the brandy business kind of fell off here, as probably around the same time the wine business took off. Wow, we can make a lot more money
Okay.
making great wine rather than kind of mediocre brandy.
Okay.
And I don't really know why the Ernest and Julio Gallas of the world and the other Christian brothers of the world didn't step up their game and start making great brandy. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
But they didn't.
But no, you were thinking about taking that up.
No, well, I guess my point was that around that time, orange trees started coming. So, commercial orange farming started happening. So, and I guess in the distilling world, the transition never really happened from like that local war idea, like, oh, well, what are we going to make our booze out of? Well, what's growing over the hill, It never really quite made it to the modern era when orange agriculture
Right. Right.
became California's king crop.
Right.
So kind of like this to this point where we were like, wow, how come no one's making spirit out of citrus? And,
That really is a good question. That hasn't happened in a yeah.
and it's been that way for decades. But, those decades have been kind of part of the kind of post-war philosophy, which is like efficiency. And
Right.
we're going to premium products means imported products. Like, the good beer is the Heineken. That
Right.
imported stuff. So, of course,
That's changing gears.
that tide is
Yeah.
turning, and so I feel like we're kind of part of that. We're like, wow.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, that's really cool, and it's not that common yet with spirits. With like, I mean, it is with beer. That's been a wave for quite a while with local, microbreweries and beers and even wines to some extent, but not with spirits. I mean, there's only there's only like a couple in the LA area. Am I wrong? Of craft distilleries. Yeah, and in general, I think there's not really. It's not as common or as popular as like microbrews, for example, that are local. You don't see as many. So I know that like they're making moonshine and stuff like that, and like in the South, and a lot of smaller like like bourbons and things like that are coming out of there. But yeah, not here so much.
Yeah, New
York. Yeah. That's what I heard. I mean, legally, it's not an easy thing either, right? Yeah. Is that like old school prohibition law kind of thing? Yeah.
I mean, so we knew that. We knew it was going to be a hassle, but we just thought of like kind of something that would give us the first mover advantage, it's like all the pain in the ass of opening a distillery here was just going to kind of clear the decks for us to actually kind of be the first,
Yeah.
Not the first doing kind of what we're doing,
So it's not the same friend actually that I mentioned that made whiskey on the side. I talked to him about actually making Triumph and Disaster, like for the show whiskey, like combining and selling this whiskey or beer, and he was like, beer maybe, but the whiskey thing he just said the laws are so crazy, and so like they really almost discourage you. They make it really difficult to make and sell whiskey as opposed to beer. Beer is much easier, and it has something to do with these like prohibition laws or something. Like Carter, I think. Isn't it Carter, I think, that overturned that? Yeah, like in 79 or something. Right. And you can make your own beer. Right. So if anybody had a disrespect for Carter, that ought to change your mind. So what is the process itself? And we don't have to keep talking, but I'm genuinely curious about this. Is it? To me, it seems like when you're talking about like making whiskey or something like that, or Scotch or something, and you're talking about all the like peat and barrels and all this whatever. It seems like a pretty complicated process to me, and the way that you are making your gin and vodka sounds a little more complicated than a more industrial version would. What is the process relatively simple, or is it overall? I mean, or is it? I mean, I don't even know how it's. Can you, in a nutshell, kind of say how it's done?
Well, I mean, it's definitely more complicated when you do everything yourself.
Yeah.
You do all of the fermentation in-house. And the fermentation is a big...
You do everything in your...
Yeah. We don't always do the juicing. That's one thing that we...
But, okay.
But, yeah. But in a way, it's simpler because if you're working with grain, you have a mash tun, and you have...
Right.
Sparge it and all that stuff. You basically have to... you have to roast the barley. I mean, a lot of brewers don't go that far; they outsource that. But, just to coax sugar out of grain, it's kind of a hassle. There's heat involved. If you're working with fruit juice, the sugar is already there, and so it's a matter of taking that juice, adding yeast to it, champagne yeast, and letting it go. And this kind of dovetails nicely back to where we were in the sort of inception story of the distillery. That was our kind of first question that we asked ourselves when we were sitting at that bar that day. Or it was our first kind of hypothesis. The reason why no one's making booze out of citrus in California is because it can't be done. Something about citrus makes it really, really hard to ferment. And, it's like, there's, I don't know, citric acid or something. And we started doing some experiments, and no, that's not true. Citrus ferments wonderfully, and I have to give my brother a shout out. My brother went to UC Davis in fermentation science.
Oh, nice.
And he was not a brewer now, but he was a pro brewer, and he gave us a lot of help. So, go Eric.
I agree. Thanks for what you've done for all of us here. And that was it. I don't know.
So we fermented ourselves some of those trees. My family grows it, you know, and Murcots or clementines.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like created a beautiful kind of wine out of it. And then it was just a matter of us learning how to distill from there, you know.
And is that pretty complex once the process?
Pretty simple, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a still is a pretty simple machine.
Yeah.
It's just really how you use it.
Okay. And then, so you mentioned, okay, so you do gin and vodka, and you mentioned possibly doing a brand.
And a limoncello. And then we have all these beautiful barrels that are empty. So over time, my wife, who's in Vancouver,
Okay.
Oregon, got interested in like making a gin, which really wasn't on the top of my list. I was sort of interested in other pursuits, but her gin making skills are powerful.
God bless her.
Yeah, and
So, but how did she knew, she just did a little research on her own and then started experimenting with some things?
yeah.
And you guys came up with your own, you just like making soup or something. You just kind of threw different things in there until you got something that was right?
I mean, the amount of variables you have to consider in the making of a gin is endless, enormous. There's a lot of travel. Yeah.
Do you, but you've settled on one thing that you do now and you're going to do a different type for,
Oh, of course.
yeah?
A recipe that we're going to stick with.
Yeah.
Or a flagship
Yeah.
specific gin. But down the road, we'd love to make some weirder
Variations on it?
Yeah, I mean, we were all over the place.
Can you get your stuff, by the way, online? If you don't live in LA, is there a way to get your stuff, or is it still?
P&L wines.
Uh-huh.
P&L fine wines and spirits or something like that, and they ship, but not everywhere. So if you live in New York, you're out of luck. But if you live in Wyoming, I think you're okay. It just depends.
Interesting.
Internationally, they do some countries.
So it's through a distributor. It's not directly from like your website or something. You can't send it out.
Come to our distillery and buy from us.
Okay. But you don't ship directly.
We cannot ship.
That's a legal thing?
It's a legal thing. So
Okay.
Remember those big brandy producers we were talking about a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
Those guys had a lot of political power back in the day.
Oh.
This really wasn't brandy world. So when the post-prohibition laws regarding, alcohol sales were written, they wrote themselves into a situation where they could sell direct and cut out the middleman. So
Okay. Okay.
we don't really, our vodka and gin, they truly are a vodka and gin, but they're made of fruit. So under certain sort of, categorization, a certain analysis, they're considered brandy.
Huh. So
By the state. So we can sell retail to people, provided they're not out there to turn them around and make money.
yeah. So
We can sell cases. If you want to have a party, we can sell you a case.
do,
You can't charge for it. You just can't, you can't be Joe bartender and come down and buy a bottle for your bar.
Okay.
You can go to a distributor.
but when you say sell a case, that's like in person, like walking in and buying a case. So like if we, so if I like have listeners all over, like even in like the UK or wherever else, you're going to have a buddy come buy it in LA and ship it out there right now. That's the way it is for right now.
You can actually P&L.
Really? K&L. Okay.
P&L does international.
Okay. I'm going to have to put that link up there. All right, cool.
If you're in Abu Dhabi, you might be
Yeah. But if you're in Glasgow, you can probably pick it up. Oh, that's cool. All right, you guys. For whatever reason, I have a bunch of listeners in Scotland, so in UK. So maybe, and we, they like to put, throw a few back once in a while. So you guys got to try this stuff. Exactly. So I also want to say, so at the end, we get to the end of our talk here. How long have we been going on here? How long have we been talking? About 40 minutes? All right. Yeah. All right, we'll pause it. All right, we're back. So, are there any what what's the best way? What's the best way to drink vodka or gin? Is there like a certain old school? Is there a traditional way? Is there a way that's looked at like looked down upon? You know, is there a way? Is it just neat? Is there a certain mix? What do you think? Is there any tradition with these things? Chilled, not chilled, whatever. If you want to do it right. Yeah, of course. Well, we're just talking about we could talk about the other guys if you want, but let's talk about yours. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. I gotta look those up. I don't even know what goes in there. How do you order that martini? You just say extra vermouth, or is there a way of saying that? Is that what you say? Is it that much vermouth? You want to go 50-50, really? I've never had one like that. I don't know. I mean, I know what it is, but not literally what it's from. I mean, I've never had that much vermouth, so I don't even have any idea. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Right. Absinthe, right? Isn't that absinthe? I think it is. Okay, right. Okay. I'm gonna try that next time because I like to have a martini once in a while. Yeah, I want to try that. No, I'm glad you said that. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, just is that what would be the best way to do yours? Same thing with vodka. With the vodka martini, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's nice to know tradition, and like, you know, I appreciate that. Even if I don't like it, I want to see what it is. You know what I mean? I want to try it. Okay. Yeah. If it wasn't out of the freezer, yeah. Okay. Throw a bottle in the freezer. And what do you think about just chilled vodka? Just neat. With yours, it sounds different. Yours, I would like to do that. Any others, I wouldn't think you'd get too much of a variation. But the way that you describe yours, I'm really interested in seeing what that is. You know. Right. Right. Okay. I never thought of it that. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. I've never heard of that. That's crazy. Where does that come from? Is that from a certain country or something? Huh. Yeah. Huh. Different texture to it. Oh, okay. So it's this is what I mean by this is why I think it's such an art form. All these little things, all these little details and variations, you know, I think what you're doing, like I've talked to a guy, like I mentioned to you before we started recording, we just talked for like 5 minutes, but I talked to Fred, this guy from Blitz Motorcycles in Paris, the custom motorcycle guy. I think he's an artist. I think he's an artist in what he does. He didn't seem to think, I don't think so. But it's the same with you, and this is why I wanted to talk to you. I mean, what you guys do, I guess similar to cooking, maybe in a way, is an art form, which I think is really fascinating. But I also know that you are an artist. You do some other things. You're a writer. I just found out, but you're also a musician as well. Yeah, for how long? All your life, or how long you been doing that? So you're a guitarist?
I'm a guitar player, and I play piano, but I've always been interested in crafting songs, and then early on I was heavier, riff-oriented bands.
Like what?
I couldn't think of a singer, so other people would sing, and I'd say to myself, well, who am I to put, words in their mouth? So I always had these kind of collaborative partnerships with other people to create the music, and they're usually super dysfunctional. It's hard to find people who have the same discipline
in music. You know what? This is something I just had a conversation about with my girlfriend the other night. How we were so fascinated. We were listening to War on Drugs, and we were, for example, and we were like, how the fuck? How? I'm just so fascinated how this came together. How this group of guys somehow were drawn to each other and knew exactly what they all wanted to do. It's like this weird recipe that has to come together, and then there has to be like an unspoken sort of agreement with exactly the kind of feeling and mood. I just think it's fascinating when a band comes together, like how that happens. It seems like magic to me. And I think you're right. I think probably quite a bit. Yeah. but you know what I mean? Okay, well, it could be anybody though. But you know what I mean? Like if something comes together, it really is kind of magic, because it's not one person, It's like 4 or 5 people that are all on board with some certain thing. And I think that's really interesting. So it's got to be difficult to that's a whole other subject, but to bring that together and to hold it together.
Yeah, I think it's so, over time I learned to see myself, and I read myself in sort of situations where I was, relying on people to finish myself.
You felt like you didn't have the right to sing? You felt like it wasn't your place to, or something, somehow?
Let's just say that, singing was like an option, playing the guitar, and I hadn't
I got it.
put the time in to become a good enough singer to really feel comfortable.
I understand. So it was out of respect for the craft in a way. Is that what you mean? Like you felt like you hadn't paid your... Okay. But right, before you can assume, you can just step up and do it. Yeah. Yeah. Were you scared shitless? You just have to do it over again and again, right? But how were you scared the first time you did it? You sung? Were you freaked out a little bit, or? But something made you do it. You had something that you really had something that you wanted to get across, or a feeling that you had. Yeah. Did you feel... Did you feel lost, or like you weren't yourself during that time when you weren't doing it? Did you feel... Do you remember? Okay, doing other things. Well, sure. Sure. Right. But something was missing that you came back when you started to... You realized when you picked it back up. Right.
That, like, I feel like
It's worth sharing.
me playing the guitar and writing songs is not just some other dude, like, kind of
Getting up for the sake of getting up.
wants to do it.
Right.
Yeah, like, I feel like I'm just, I'm kind of a weird person. Like, this is like some music that's kind of cool, but a little bit off kilter, and I think it's, you know,
If it wasn't,
you know,
no, exactly, no. But if you weren't a little bit weird, it wouldn't be fucking interesting, and it probably wouldn't have any. It wouldn't be worth saying. If it was, that's kind of a common denominator with most creative people. I mean, weird is a good thing. When you look out at the world, and what is not weird or what is normal is, to me, not what I want to be. Not what I want to listen to. So that's a good quality.
I kind of, some of it's just innate, and I think I also make a conscious effort to sort of defy expectations
Yeah.
in my music. Like, it's, like, my songs are kind of Americana,
Yeah.
or Americana-ish, like, I'm playing some coffee shop place, like, throw some Christianity in there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not, we're not get so precious.
Right. No, I love that. Why haven't you? This has been a very clean talk. You haven't thrown in any F-bombs or anything in here, or something. Have you? Oh, okay. All right. Don't disappoint me. You threw a couple in. Okay. Those fucking grapes. So do you play? You still play often? What's the name of your band, man? What is it again? Do you guys have a site? Okay, I'm going to put that up. Really? Can we find you? Yeah, it's sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I was introduced to this kind of rhythm section, and they liked my songs, and these guys were like musicians. There's been like lots of folks in the road where I could have been like, oh, maybe I could put it down for a while, and it's like, no, I'm not going to let these guys go, they're
Good.
that good, and then we have pretty exceptional as well. So very, very stoked to be playing with these dudes.
Do you do anything every day for your music? Do you write something every day, or do you pick up the guitar a little bit, a few minutes, as busy as you are? Do you find, or do you have any other kind of sort of a practice that you do every day that's sort of a discipline, like a creative discipline of any kind? Uh-huh. Well, shit, that's another thing then. For what? Like, you contribute to, like, are you... Okay. Okay. Oh, journaling, like journaling. But that's what I mean, though, as a daily practice. Like, something like that, even. Okay. Often. I think that's important, though. Just let things percolate. And...
guitar player like that. But if you're a songwriter, sometimes it's good to kind of get out of that space.
I think that's probably true for screenwriting too, or writing. Like if you have an idea, but maybe it's not clear. Sometimes it just kind of cooks, and all of a sudden, you know, you need maybe a month or maybe a year or longer, and all of a sudden everything is sort of almost appears in a whole form after a while without you even really consciously thinking about it. After a while, yeah. But you know, the story, let's say. Some fermentation. Well, I think we're about an hour. So is there anything that I didn't talk about or anything or ask you about that you might want to talk about or mention, or sites or any of that kind of stuff? I'll put everything up on the blog is triumphanddisasterblog.com. So I'll put everything up there. But if there's anything that you want to say or mention. Yeah. Didn't have to pay off any politicians or anything like that. Cool. That's fucking badass. That's like the best life you can think of, right? You run a distillery and you're a musician. I hope so too, man. And keep in touch with me and let me know about that, will you? Because if it happens, I wanna kind of keep everybody posted on that thing. That would be really cool. I think that's super cool. No, I haven't. But I fully plan to. I'm in. Oh, dude! Everybody I've had conversations with people while imbibing on this show more than once, and the logo is of a guy taking a pull off a bottle, basically an old timey looking guy. So there's no mystery in the fact that I'll be paying your place a visit at some point, and I hope everybody else does too. So I'll put all the information up. So if you're in town and K and something, K and L. Yeah. For now. Right. What can make your day better? Thanks, man. Thanks so much. Really good to talk to you. Thanks. So that was Miller Duvall, you guys. And I will go ahead and put all those links. We talked about a lot of different stuff, about different booze and about the Spirit Guild, his distillery, and about his band, the Brunch Crowd, and also how to get a hold of how to order his booze at the K&L Wine Merchants. I'll put a link up at Triumph and Disaster blog. So make sure you go up to triumphanddisasterblog.com and you can find out how to get his stuff and where the Spirit Guild is. If you happen to be in Los Angeles, make sure to drop by there and pick up a bottle. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I really liked my talk with Miller, and by the time you hear this, you can probably safely assume that I've been by the distillery to imbibe a little myself. And thanks for listening. And make sure to go to triumphanddisasterblog.com. And I'm Cameron McHarg. We'll see you next week. Thanks.